What is up, guys? It's Jackson. Welcome back to another video. One day I'll figure out how to start a video properly. That day is not today. Hey, guess what? I got a rug. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I thought I'd share it with you guys. I found it on the side of the road. It's a lie. I found it on the side of the road. I don't know why I lie. I found it at Walmart, which is pretty much just as good as finding it on the side of the road. I think that was a shot at Walmart. I'm not sure yet though. Might have been. Only got it for $4. Bet you didn't think rugs could be that cheap. I don't know the average cost for a rug. I just went on a tangent about rugs. How does that make you feel? So, you're probably wondering what this video is about. Actually, you're not. I'm wondering that myself, but you read the title of the video, so you already know what this video is about. It's funny thinking that you guys are technically from the future. I don't know what this video is about yet. You do. Actually, I do have a topic I'm going to talk about in this video, so that's kind of a lie. So, in my last Broken Rant, actually it was my last video, I talked about the DC extended universe, and there's one video which you guys might have noticed. I didn't. Well, there was one movie missing from that you might have you might have noticed. There's a movie missing from that. It's a movie called Suicide Squad. It is so bad. I'll take a step back because it's not horrible. There are things I like in it, and I thought I'd just do a whole rant on it because Suicide Squad, man, I thought I was weird when that movie came out. There was so much hype around it, and I actually thought it looked decent. I thought it looked kind of cool. I remember when it came out, everyone that I knew was so fanatic about this movie, like, because it was I remember it came out, and then that Halloween everyone was dressed as Joker and Harley Quinn. It was insane. So I thought I was so weird because I didn't see the movie when it came out. I waited forever until I finally went and saw it in theaters, and when I watched it, I thought it was crazy that I didn't like it. Like, I was sitting there watching this movie, I'm like, this is really stupid. It's just a prime example of DC trying to make things so like dark and weird, and it was trying to mix the comedy with it, but the comedy wasn't landing. Like, I didn't laugh at anything in it. The premise is stupid. You're getting a bunch of criminals together to go on a suicide mission, okay, but in a world where you have Batman, Superman, well, no longer Superman, but you have Batman, you have Flash, you have all these metahumans that they talk about and they acknowledge exist, but rather than get them to help, they're gonna get a bunch of criminals. Like, it makes no sense. And the reason I didn't even talk about it in my last video, it has no connection to the DC extended universe, and they didn't even mention it at all in the next movie, which is Justice League, because there's no point to it. It's a weird movie that came out in a weird time. Suicide Squad would have been one of those Marvel movies that they would have waited to release until, I gotta sneeze. Sneeze! Dang it! Suicide Squad was one of those movies that would have been released, like, it would be like their 8th or maybe like 9th movie. Like, if they like just kind of listed out their movies, Suicide Squad technically should have been like movie number 8 or 9. It was movie number 3. They made it the 3rd movie, and it has no connection with it. That's what it's kind of meaning. It's like, it was worth skipping over because there was no point to it. I'm gonna get into the things I liked about it first, because there were some things I did like about Suicide Squad. I liked Will Smith as Deadshot. I didn't think I would going into it, but I actually really did like him, because I think Will Smith's a good actor, so I think he played the part really well. Same thing with Margot Robbie. I really liked her as Harley Quinn. She was probably the perfect casting choice. If that's anything I can say about Suicide Squad, is that it pretty much nailed the casting. It got all the characters down right. But that doesn't mean anything if your movie's complete trash. And actually, the casting wasn't all, other than, it's like the two that stick out though as maybe negative, I think they were good casting choices, but I don't think they played the characters well. And I don't really know, but I'll start with saying it's the two. It's Jared Leto and Viola Davis. Jared Leto playing the Joker, and then Viola Davis playing Amanda Waller. I think that the casting was pretty spot on. I think Jared Leto would make a pretty good Joker. But the problem I have with it is that I didn't like Jared Leto's take on the Joker, and I didn't get to see enough of him to really make an assessment on how I felt about him, I guess, to make like a full assessment on it. I don't know if I hated his Joker or not. I felt like I hated it, but I didn't see enough of him to really judge it, if that makes sense. I don't know how I felt about the grill and all the weird tattoos, but he wasn't on screen enough. And it was one of those things where the trailers and stuff made it look like the Joker was going to be the villain of the movie. And for that, I would have been all for. Because I think if I was given more time with his version of the Joker, I would have grown to like it, but I don't know if that's true or not. But kind of throwing a major DC character like that and just kind of putting him to the side, it didn't work well. It didn't work well for me anyways. Then you have Amanda Waller, who they missed a big opportunity to make her the villain. I thought that when I first watched it, and then I remember when my mom saw it, she said the same thing, like, oh, she's the bad guy. I was like, yeah, you would have thought that, but she's not. There was a lot of weird, I feel like they This movie, I wonder what the budget of this movie was. It had a budget of $175 million. And I guarantee you they spent all their money on Will Smith and their playlist of songs they played throughout the movie. It's funny that out of all the characters, because it's a Suicide Squad, so you have Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and then Captain Boomerang, the Killer Croc, Diablo, and some other ones probably. I don't. Those are the ones that came to mind. There might be some other ones, but like Katana, I completely forgot about her, but she didn't do anything anyway. She was just there. She was pointless. And that's how I feel about it. All these members of the Suicide Squad, they're all pointless. They are. They're all pointless because the only two that matter are Deadshot and Harley Quinn. They're thrown in your face because they're the only like A-list actors, I guess, Margot Robbie and Will Smith. So they get the most screen time. They get the most amount of story, and all the other characters just shoved to the background. And that ticked me off to no end. It's horrible. My idea, because whenever I was talking about whenever I was saying that Justice League is moving too fast, or the DC extended universe is moving too fast, at least Aquaman is now getting his first film, and it looks to be its own thing. The Flash isn't getting a film till 2 years, and it's going to be a Flashpoint movie. If they're using it as a way to sort of do a course correct for the DC extended universe as a whole, then I guess I'd be a little bit more okay with it. But I just think that it's a and this is getting off topic of the Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad is just a forgettable movie. It's like, I can't even tell you what the final act's about. It's a normal, there's a big beam in the sky, we gotta stop it sort of deal. And in my ideal, if they were starting the DC extended universe, which they wanted to initially, I think, bridge it off the Dark Knight trilogy, which would have been amazing. It was perfect. Dark Knight Rises ended off on the perfect note where Batman v Superman would have picked up. In Batman v Superman, it was the perfect scenario for Bruce Wayne, who is now living a normal life away from Batman, to come back and take up the mantle of Batman again. It was the perfect scenario. I understand that if you have an actor who doesn't want to come back, you can't like force him to come back. It makes me upset that he didn't do it, because I think they were kind of banking on him coming back for the role. And that's what it feels like, because I feel like they were going to go with the Dark Knight trilogy, then Man of Steel, and then Batman v Superman, and then you'd have Wonder Woman and all that stuff kind of go off of that. When it's like Christian Bale didn't come back, now you have to introduce a new Batman to a story, and they chose a really dumb version of Batman. So the version of Batman they chose was the Dark Knight Returns version, which is the older version of Batman. A Batman where a lot of his story is already done. So I just feel like that's stupid. You're going to start a universe, and you're going to start with a Batman who's older. If you pay attention, Batman v Superman, there were little Easter eggs hidden out. You saw the Robin suit, which had something written on it, but it hinted that Robin had already died in like the story and the death of the family, where Robin's already dead. And you take the fact that it's like most of Batman's stories, Batman's not in his prime anymore. And I think that was a horrible place to start a Batman in your extended universe, is start him out of his prime. So where the Penguin and all these characters that he's fought before, they're already supposedly, I'm assuming, long gone, because even Alfred mentions the Penguin, and I think it was Justice League. I don't understand, because if they're wanting to do this older version of Batman, it doesn't make any sense, because if you watch the comics, if you read the comics, you understand that Batman, namely the Dark Knight Returns, Batman in the Dark Knight Returns was completely against working with people. He was very reluctant to work with anyone else. It doesn't make any sense to me if they're starting this universe off like this. And I got way off track again from Suicide Squad. It is supposed to be a broken round on Suicide Squad, but it's just not going to end up that way. Suicide Squad is a forgettable movie. It made me mad, and I'm really happy to see that there were other people who were frustrated with it, because for a long stretch I thought this movie was great, and I was the only one that felt weird about it, because everyone I knew loved it. And I was like, whenever I finally went and saw it, I was like, this isn't that good, is it? Like, is people really good about it? I remember I watched one review for it, and he even loved it, so I was like, I guess I'm just weird that I don't find this movie good. But I mean, aside from good casting and a couple of and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn and Will Smith's Deadshot, which were the only two good characters, but the only reason they're the only two good characters because they're the only two characters that were on screen, it felt like. They're the only two characters that had a significant amount of screen time. I know I kind of spun off topic for a little bit, but I think that kind of ties with the loose ends I have about the DCEU. I'll stick with the DC Extended Universe. I think I'm crossing my fingers for Aquaman. We'll see if that's any good, and if Aquaman's not any good, then I'm just gonna completely lose hope for the series. And if Shazam's not good, then DC's just screwed big time. But they're making a Joker prequel film to what I thought was supposed to be Jared Leto's Joker in the DC Extended Universe, but now I just heard I don't know if it's true or not, it's just a rumor that it's actually not. It's a prequel to the Dark Knight's Heath Ledger version of the Joker. If that's the case, even though I think that might ruin the Dark Knight to an extent, because I think what made the Dark Knight so good was the fact that you didn't understand the Joker much, but they got a great actor to play him. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep ranting off track if I don't kind of close this video out, so I will. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, I guess. Peace out.